Okay, good night, good night, good night, Leslie. Leslie, I have with me this wonderful woman. Her name is Nadia Mansana. And to the audience out there, tonight I just want to welcome you to my platform called Dare to Tell. And this is the platform where you can come and use your voice. You can speak your truth, whatever it is. It could be success, pain, trauma, hurts, you name it. You can use this platform just to tell your truth. And so tonight I have with me my lovely co-host, Leslie. And I have with me again Nadia Mansana, a woman of many hats. She's an entrepreneur. She is the CEO and founder of My Sister's Keeper, which is a charity, right?
Yes.
She's a graphic designer. She's a branding and marketing person. She has her own apparel line. She's a social media manager. She's an author. I mean, this woman wears many hats. And so tonight, Nadia, I'd like you to tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, how you could probably help somebody else to start their business and all of that. So the floor is yours.
Perfect. Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for having me on your amazing platform. I was intrigued by the name of your show, Dare to Tell. It absolutely opened my eyes to see where I can see why you decided to call it Dare to Tell and Speak Your Truth. It's a great platform to have women or men of in business, or if they're going through anything. I'm thankful that there is a platform such as yours with your co-host that allows us to come onto your show to talk about things that are going on. So for me, yes, I am the founder of my company. It's called My Sister Keeper. It is a branding, marketing, and graphic design agency where I show women in business how to start and establish their business, but also to come online and show up professionally in the digital market. Because as you know, as of today, if you don't have an online foot presence for your business, you really don't have a business, right?
True.
So I teach, for me, my target audience is women in business who are now getting ready to get started. And I teach them how to, get their website done, get their logos, their marketing materials. And once everything looks nice and pretty, now we have to jump into marketing and branding, right? You can't have all these amazing graphics and you're just sitting quietly behind the scenes. So
I
I
need
teach
you in
you,
my life. I'm
yeah.
sorry. I need you.
Absolutely. So we teach you how to come online, talk about your business, how to brand yourself, right? So and branding has a lot to do with like I tell my clients, like, what does your brand say about you? Now, if you didn't if this was not your brand, would you come shop with you? Right? Like, would you
Mhm.
want to work with someone with like you? And if not, what do we change? What do we fix? So I have a lot of brand strategy calls with my clients so that we can talk about the structure of their company, as well as, of course, how do you market and who is your target audience? Because not everyone is your target market or your target audience, right?
That's
You're
very
not going
important.
to yeah,
Yeah,
you're not going to sell a stethoscope for a doctor to a mechanic. You can't talk a mechanic into buying something a doctor uses,
that's
right?
true.
So making sure that you understand your target audience and your target market is what I help women in business do. And that is just one of many hats that I do wear.
Yes, that's awesome. That's amazing. So, okay, how did you start, if I may ask?
Perfect question. I love when that is the question that people ask. So I started my Sister Keeper in February of 2020. That's right. February of 2020 is when I stepped out and was like, I am starting my business. And guess what? A week after, I went
Really
online and I did
excited.
my whole spiel about my business. And my business was structured to actually be the face of someone's company, and I will go out and market for them. Like, I will go to vendor shows and I'll take your business card and I'll tell people who come to my table about your business. So I was the person who was going to do your marketing for you in your business. That was the structure of how I built my business. And when I tell you I did 6 months to a year of planning, strategizing, making sure that if this went wrong, I knew how to fix it. The one thing I did not prepare for was
COVID.
COVID. right?
Yes, exactly.
I could not go anywhere. They said you cannot leave the house and you cannot go anywhere, right? So I could have gone home and been like, you know what? Well, I'll just wait for COVID to be over and not do anything with my business right now and think of something else. But the idea that downloaded in me, I knew it was for a purpose. And I just had to figure out, how do I pivot in my business, still do what I want to do, but bring myself online to do it. And
Yes.
that's how I pivoted in my business in March of 2020. And I started to showcase women in business on my own platform, and I created the platform
Mhm.
My Sister Keeper. And now I have a woman's directory on my website where you can still see all the ladies that I work with and
I
you can still connect
did.
with them, right? So instead of me going out to all these vendor shows like I wanted to do, I just brought everything online, right? Created my website, self-taught myself how to build websites and logos and all
Wait,
the
wait, wait, wait,
things.
wait. You self-taught yourself?
Self-taught myself. I did not, I will be fully transparent. I did not go to a college to sit to know how to design. I went for business and marketing when I went to school, right? I had no graphic design skills, but I sat and not realizing that talent was embedded in me. And the only way I figured out that talent, because of COVID and I had to sit in the house, right? And I realized that I had this talent. So I made sure that I invested in my talent and learned more of it. So I self-taught myself how to do most of the things that I do today.
That's amazing.
Wow.
I lift my hat to you. That's
Thank
amazing. So if you can do all of that,
Mhm.
teach yourself, and now you're this powerhouse, because that's what I call you.
Thank you.
It's amazing. That means anybody could do it, because what I've learned is that during COVID, a lot of people have discovered what's inside of them, their talents, what they can do, because everything else was shut down. So what do you
Exactly.
do?
Exactly. And that is when you got quiet with yourself. I know I got quiet with myself and decided, okay, what else, can I do to get extra streams of income to come into the house? Because I'm not just going to sit all day and watch TV and I'm just seeing, depressing news, so to speak, right? Like I had to really turn the news off sometimes so that I can regroup myself, but, figure out what else can I do and what other talents that I had. And it's so funny that now you see businesses starting up left and right, right? Like
Mhm.
everyone is trying to come up with a talent that they have and they're really investing it. The problem is a lot of us don't know how to structure our business for success, right? Some of
Absolutely.
us have our businesses as if it's a hobby, like, oh, I will just bake the cake when I'm ready, or I will design the website when I'm ready. No, right? You don't go to corporate America and they don't come to work when they're ready, right? You have to really show up for your business every single day and realizing that you must have a solid foundation in order to start your business. So just in case you need to pivot, at least your foundation is still strong.
Absolutely. We really, well, we women,
Mhm.
we really do need someone like you,
Mhm.
because you're talking right now, and I'm also looking at me, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because I know I have a lot of talents. I write stage plays. Um, I love the fashion thing, so I'm starting to do retail of my own. But a lot of the things that you're talking about, I don't know. So
Mhm.
that's where I would come to you for
Right.
strategy, marketing, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because
Exactly.
you need that for the business to
Exactly.
succeed.
Exactly. And when I say structure your business for a great foundation, I'm not telling you to invest a whole lot of money into your company when you first start. Simple things as, making sure your social media pages are separate from one business, one personal, right? Do you have a business phone number? Do you have a business email? What does your digital business footprint look like? Right? It has to be separate from your personal. And that is how you're getting ready to start your foundation. Did you incorporate your business as an LLC or an S Corp? Understanding what those structures mean, understanding the tax bracket that you fall into. Like, no, you can't just sell out of your home on a daily basis, right?
Yeah.
without having taxes to pay, right? Because
Right.
then you would end up in some trouble,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we don't want to have, you just, cooking or baking or whatever you want to do outside in your home, and then you're doing that all day. Like, okay, yes, you may start off that way so that you can generate a little bit of income. So now that you can go pay for the structure of your business, but you're not going to do this for 2-3 years, right?
That's right.
Give yourself about 6 months. If you do the business correctly, within 6 months you can go register your business with your state, because the trick is, and the tip I should say is, do you know how many tax write-offs you can get as a business owner when filing taxes?
Yes.
So it is a benefit for
Yes.
you to structure your business correctly and be able to file your taxes correctly. Don't think of not paying Uncle Sam, because trust
Yeah.
me, it's going to come back and bite you in the butt, right? So
And us
you
here
want to
is
make sure
it's
to do that.
us here is it's the Revenue Canada.
Right.
We don't have an Uncle Sam. Well, we do have an Uncle Sam, but it's a different name.
It's a different name. Right.
Right, right.
Exactly. So just
Eh,
don't run from taxes. Just
Yeah,
don't do
my
that.
co-host, Leslie, she's a businesswoman as well. She's really,
Mm-hmm.
really very, very good. And but I also think that no matter how successful we are in business, we never know it all.
Mm-hmm.
That sometimes you really do need the help, because there's
Mm-hmm.
something that you could help me with as you talk about networking and stuff like that. So,
Exactly.
I really think that's amazing. So so is My Sister's Keeper your company overall, or do you have a charity separate from your business?
Oh, great question. So I do have, before I started my Sister Keeper, I did establish with my cousin, our nonprofit organization that Step Toward Awareness. And what we did was we created events to help other nonprofit organizations raise funds for their organization, because everyone was going into their pockets to help their nonprofit, right? And we were showing you how to create events to do that. Again, couldn't do that when COVID hit, right? So then that's how I jumped into my Sister Keeper. However, within my Sister Keeper, I've always wanted to make sure that I have a give back program. No matter what I'm doing in business, I must always give back to my community or to an organization that I see that's doing a world of good. So last year, I started my Sister Keeper magazine. And my Sister Keeper magazine features women in business, and when they pay me to be get their sponsorship within the magazine, 100% of the proceeds that I get from the magazine and the sale of the magazine, I take it and I donate it to a nonprofit organization. Right. So that is how I do my give back program. So when I started the magazine line, and this is a story for anyone that's listening who ever wanted to start something and wanted to just give up right away, right? So I called so many different magazine lines. I didn't not even to like name them, right? And I said, "Hey, I'm really wanting to be a part of your magazine. Can I get on your cover? Can I get a feature? I just want to be visible and want to be a part of your magazine." And I got so many no's. Like, no, your company is kind of young. You don't have a lot of followers. Like, get some more traction and then you can come back to us, right? So I sat one day and I said, you know what? I'm a graphic designer. How hard is it going to be to design a magazine? So I found a magazine program that I loved, and I learned it all by myself. I taught myself, created my very first magazine. And for me to do that, I sent out 100 emails. I kid you not, to just people that I knew who were in business. I sent 100 emails out. 7 people said yes to me out of those 100 people. 7. I took those 7 people and I featured them in my magazine in October, and it was Cancer Awareness Month at that time. I put on a pink dress. I'm a graphic designer, so I wrapped a pink ribbon around me, and we did a fundraiser for cancer awareness. At the end of 3 months, I was able to raise $500, my very first $500, and donated it to St. Jude's Children's Hospital for kids who, of course, are going through chemotherapy and cancer. And from the 7 that said yes, the next issue, because I did marketing, when I tell you I did some marketing and I did branding on my magazine line, today, as of today, actually this upcoming Saturday, I'm having a Phenomenal Woman Award show because of the women that said yes to being part of my magazine. I am up to 40 ladies who said yes to me now to be a part of my magazine line, and I'm able to cover all 4 quarter issues of my magazine in January. And I left from 7 ladies, and I'm up to 40 ladies now that I feature, that I'm going to be featuring. And now this year, I wanted to make it a lot bigger this year. So we're doing the award show, and then instead of donating to 4 organizations every year since I started, I'm getting ready to donate to 10 organizations, and I pick them on Saturday at Phenomenal Woman Awards.
Amazing,
Awesome.
amazing. Leslie, do you have any questions for Nadia?
Wow, Nadia, you said a lot.
Right.
One of the questions I wanted to ask, you said when COVID started,
Yes.
you had already began the process of starting your business. Because of COVID, you were not able to proceed in the direction you wanted to. So you pivoted and went online.
Yes.
How were you able to make that transition so quickly? Because that was within a matter of weeks.
Yep. In 30 days, literally 30 days.
How were you able to transition?
How was I able to transition? So the purpose of me starting my Sister Keeper was so that I can start building some generational wealth, because I have a son, right? I have a son who is 18 years old. And the why, when I started my organization, you have to have a why when you start something or a business that is so big that sometimes it scares you to know that, wow, if I stick to this, I can actually accomplish it. And it does not make you stop when an obstacle comes in your way, right? If you stop in your business and it's because something got too hard, your why was not big enough when you first started your business. So for me, yes, I sat at home and I was like, you did not just strategize and come up with a plan in 6 months to a year to go home and stop because COVID came. What can you do? And I did research on how do you get a business online? What do you need to get done? And again, research is key, right? Research is key to the success of your business. You can't just sit and figure everything out yourself. And then what I also did was I reached back, I researched people who are having successful online businesses, and I saw exactly the footprint that they did. And then I just followed suit, and I got into a circle of women who was willing to pour into me the information that I needed to be successful, because I couldn't do it by myself.
That's right.
Right? So I'm reaching out to organizations that I saw that was making an impact and a difference. I'm like, how did you do X, Y, and Z? And they were able to tell me. And then I just followed the blueprint. I may have put a little spit on it because I wanted to be a little bit different. However, the blueprint and the structure was already there. I just had to follow it. So definitely researching and evaluating my circle. Like I always tell people, you're gonna have to, when you're in business, you have to evaluate your circle so that you don't get hurt in business, right? Your friends and family are not your customers. They're your friends and family, right? Customers are cold markets. You need to be able to go out there and talk about your business to a cold market. Yes, you're going to have some family members that will support you and say, okay, yeah, let me just buy the book, or just to say that they helped you, right? But can you go back to them and ask them to shop with you again? No, right? So I learned how to put people in the right perspective in my life, so that I wouldn't get hurt when it comes to business and they said no to me, right? So those are the type of things that I had to learn in business so that I can make sure that I don't just get hurt and stop, so that's why, and that's how.
That's good.
Amazing.
Another thing that you said was key, and I know that's one of the things that I do is research.
Yes.
When I first started my business, the computer became my best friend,
Mm.
night and day. And even though I'm in now 2 decades, I still do a lot of research for different things.
Absolutely.
Because the key to success is the knowledge. Having the knowledge about your business and current trends, it's what helps you to be able to be successful. Because I find as a Black woman, I always have to be 2 steps ahead of the competition. So I always sit and think, what can I do differently to attract customers? What can I do differently to appear different? So I always strive to be a cut above the competition because I know I'm a woman of color.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's my ultimate goal, is always being ahead of the competition, so that people will have a reason to choose me as opposed to the next person.
Exactly. And then always knowing who is your competition. Don't think that there's there's a lot of graphic designers out there, right? There are so many social media managers out there, right? So you have to figure out who is the best of the best and figure out, research, what are they doing, right? And how can you now learn from them and maybe pivot a bit. However, you have to know who your competition is so that you can always stay fresh with the information, because information is changing. I feel like it's changing by the month. Technology is changing, so you have to keep up, especially in my world as a graphic designer. One day it's a 3D version, and then the next day they want something
another kind of D.
So I have to stay ahead of what's trending right now as far as video editing, marketing, things of that nature, what's selling. Like today, you can't just post a picture and just leave. Like, you have to build algorithms. You have to learn. You have to do these things, so research is definitely key.
It is. Wow.
What would you say your greatest challenge would be?
Great question. My greatest challenge is teaching a brand new person how to be diligent in their business, right? Because they want to get rich tomorrow. They want to make that $1 million tomorrow, right? Now, if you structure your business correctly, you will be able to achieve the $1 million goal. But you need to have that 2-year plan, 3-year plan, 5-year plan, right? I'm a strategist. Like, you have to be able to know what you're doing within the next year versus the next 2 years, right? So my challenge has always been, they will come to me and say, okay, Nadia, I want you to be my social media manager. I want you to create me some really great graphics and videos. And I was like, okay, well, what do you want to see come out of this, right? What do you want to see come out of working with me? Because I want to make sure we set expectations, right? And then they're like, well, I want to make like $50,000 by, in 3 months. Okay, so I'm a realist. That's who I am, right? And depending on how we do your marketing, can it be achieved? Yes, I'm not going to say cannot be achieved, but we have to be realistic. And now, are you willing to do the work that it takes to make that 50,000? Because I can tell you what it takes, but are you willing to do the work? And then some of them get burnt out. And it's not that they get burnt out because I'm giving them too many tasks to do. They get burnt out because life is happening, kids, work, husband, school, life is happening. So that's why I said realistic expectation is you can make $50,000 within 12 months because of your schedule. This is what you need to do, right? But you can't do it in 2 months because of your schedule, right? So teaching people how to understand the realistic side of business, right? Everybody wants to get into business and do things, but I try to teach you the realistic side of business. And that sometimes is kind of a hard lesson to teach.
I'm sure. Okay, if there is a person out there that wants to start a business, they don't know really what they want to do as far as business, Are you able to lead that person, and how do you go about doing that for them to
Absolutely.
actually find, their
Mhm.
niche?
The niche.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So we do schedule a strategy call, my consultation calls. And on that consultation call, I allow you to, the first question I ask you, of course, we get to know each other, but I also ask you, what are your talents? What are you good at? Right? List me every single thing that you think that you're good at, or what would you like to learn, right? And then we decide, okay, what can actually make you the money and the time that it takes to get it done, right? So we have these strategy calls, and it's funny how sometimes, for me, my strategy calls are like a good hour long, and they really only booked me for 30 minutes, but I'm so passionate about business, I don't really look at time. And I'm learning some things I still have to learn myself, right? But in that hour, we really strategize on what is the very first thing that you need to start with, right? So we decide what's the first thing. So for example, when I first started, the only thing I did was marketing. Like, I marketed your business, I put you on my website, and I just market on my social media pages for you. Then I learned branding, so I added branding to my company, right? Now I added my magazine line, then I added my apparel line. But did I do that month after month after month? No. I waited till everything was working. The first thing that I started worked like a well-oiled machine. I had a strategy in place. I knew when a customer come in, how I'm handling this customer. And then I moved on to doing something else. So we strategize. Okay, this is what we're going to do for month 1, 2, 3. If it works the way that we want it to work, this is what we're going to do from month 3 to 6, right? So a lot of my clients, this is why they hold on to me for a while, right? Because it's not just Nadia design my website and logo, and then they're off to the races and doing their things. Because I've added the service of strategy and planning and branding and marketing into my business, because most graphic designers are like, I'm going to design you your website and your logo, and then you're going to have to find
Yeah,
yourself a brand manager to help you, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't do that part. But I took that and I realized that there was a gap in graphic design. And that gap was, after you give them this pretty website, what do they do after? And then I figured out that there was a need. So I saw the problem and there was the need, right? And that's how I'm learning how to do strategies and really planning out your business with you. So yes, I do offer that service.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing because I
Yes.
know there are lots of people out there. Well, I don't know everything. I never do, as far as business, and I really see where I could learn a lot from you. So I will be talking to you after.
Of course.
Um, yeah, but I've come across people that have started business and they don't have a clue.
No.
It's just, yeah, it's just okay. I'm just gonna start what I like to do. I'm just gonna start this
What you
business or
like?
have somebody build a website, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
and go from there. You know what I
Yep.
mean? But how do you um market yourself? How do you pull customers in or whatever,
Exactly.
how do you, yeah, market for a certain type of, crowd or people, whatever you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna call it. So it really it's a lot, and I really I love all that you're saying because now I'm thinking in my brain is going right now. I'm thinking, I have to make sure that I talk to you. Yes, because you're very helpful. Everything that you said, and it's really really important. Any more questions, Leslie?
So for people that come to you, when they come, is
Mhm.
there, in terms of pricing, do you charge them a package price? Do you charge by the hour? How do you usually decide, from client to client, what the fee will be?
Absolutely. So great question. So you do get a free 30-minute call with me. On that 30-minute call, I ask a couple of questions. Just, yes, we get to know each other because I want to understand your business. What do you do? Then I give you some ideas on what you can do, right? I say, okay, well, based on what you said to me, this is what I think you can do. And then, do you need your website? Because sometimes I have people who start with Absolutely nothing. Like they just came and said, I just want to start a business because I want to get some income coming into my home. Right. And this is what I'm good at. So they haven't even gotten their LLC or registered their business or anything like that. So I kind of meet you where you are. Right. Because some people will come and they registered the business, they did everything. And then you're like, I have all this stuff, but I don't know what to do with it, right? So everyone is a little bit different, and all depending on what you need is how I customize and design a package based on your needs. So I do have a la carte, right? Like if, like for example, some of my clients is having a event and they just want a flyer, okay, it's $80 for a flyer. I designed the flyer, you run with your event, right? So that's like the graphic designer part of me. But the business consultation part of me, it's a package that I designed for you depending on where you are and what do I see that you need. And then I customize that package just for you.
Got it. Thank you. And for those people that might be thinking of a business, like you said, and not sure, they might know what their talents are. Do you develop a business plan with them as they come, or that's something that they have to do on their own?
No, I do help with that as well. So we do, what does your 3-year plan look like? What is your 5-year plan? I go up to 5 years, a 5-year plan, and what do you want to accomplish? And this is how you do it, and this is how you write your business plan. And especially some people who are starting nonprofit organizations, and they're like, I need your 501c3. This is how you get started. Now, do I incorporate businesses? No. I have companies that I've partnered with. And if you come to me and you're like, I don't have an LLC, I don't have an S corp, like I have nothing, I would say, okay, here's my partner that I've partnered with, and I've worked with them for 3 years now. So I've built great relationship with them. And that's where I send you, and they will help you get your structure together of your business. Where do you fall in your tax bracket? Do you need your EIN number, your tax ID number? I get you all that stuff from them. Then you come back to me, so that way we can now start your design process. I'm not designing anything if your business is not structured properly. Because for me, it feels like you just want a hobby, just to do something. But if you really want it to be a business, you need to start from point A and have a better structure. Then you come back to me. So then my client will send you back to me. And then they say, okay, Nadia, this person is all good to go. They have filed all their paperwork. They have all their documentation ready. And now you can work with me. We can strategize, we can design, we can do anything that you need. And then you stay with me for as long as you need to. I have people who work with me for a year, 2 years, and they just, they come back to me when they have questions. So I am available as well for that.
Okay, excellent. Good to know.
Awesome.
So if somebody wants to get in touch with you regarding starting a business or anything that you do, can you tell us how to get in touch with you?
Of course. So the very first thing that you can do is go to my website. It is www.mysister, no S, mysisterkeeper.biz, B-I-Z, and you can click on my services tab and book your free 30-minute consultation with me. And that is how we get started working with each other, because once we meet, I ask a series of questions to decide where you should be starting, because I have to meet you exactly where you are in your business for us to move forward, to figure out where we can go. So it's my website, which is mysisterkeeper.biz.
So where are you located in the United States?
I am in Florida. I am in the Sunshine State.
We were just there the other day.
Yeah.
Me and her and another friend of ours. Awesome. If I knew, I would be like, Nadia, come over.
Right.
Yes.
Now we know, yes, whenever you visit again, we can definitely see each other in Florida.
Yes, for sure. But oh my God, I thank you so much for all the information. Sister Leslie, do you have anything else that you would like to say to?
Power packed, very informative, very precise. So anyone wanting to start a business, they know, where to go. And you're right about one thing. A lot of people feel that, oh, I want to start a business. They have a great idea, Not all great ideas are business ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So they might have a great idea. I want to start a business, but never stop to think about the work that goes into it. And what I always say to people is, even when you're sleeping, you're not sleeping because your mind is going like clockwork in the middle of the night. Sometimes I'm sleeping in a deep sleep and all of a sudden an idea comes to my mind. So as a business person, you work 10 times as hard as when you're working for an employer, because it's your baby, and it's in order for it to be successful, you're always having to plan ahead and think ahead. So it's not an easy task. It takes a lot of commitment, a lot of sacrifice, well worth the satisfaction in the end. But unless you're really planning to sacrifice and work hard, don't go into business.
And that's the thing, that you have to be able to put in the work, because nothing just falls in your lap. But anyhow, Nadia, thank you so much. I learned so much from you tonight, and I hope all of you out there learned a lot from her, and you know how to reach out to her for business ideas or whatever it is that you would love for her to do with you and for you. But it was so good having you. I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. And I will be reaching out to you for sure, because you have what I need. You do have what we might be miles apart, but I know you can do it from wherever you are. And that's the thing about technology. You know, it's amazing.
Yep.
So
So I want to definitely thank you for having me on your platform as well. Leslie, it was great talking to you as well. Great questions. I did not feel like I was in a hot seat. So great questions. So thank you so much. And thank you for creating this amazing platform, Dare to Tell. It's an amazing platform.
And you can always send people over here if they want to talk about their businesses or, you know, pain, hurt, trauma, you name it, successes. Feel free to send them here. It's daretotellall@gmail.com if they have a story to tell.
Perfect. I would definitely do that.
So thank you, all my viewing audience. Again, this is Dare to Tell. I'm Donna, and my co-host is Leslie with me. And I thank Nadia again for coming on. And I hope you all learned a lot tonight. And please reach out to her. She's the best. Oh my God, I can't get over it. All this information that we got tonight. Listen, some people sell their information, and you got so much for free. So thanks again, all my viewing audience, and I will see you another time.